Sorry about that. StreamYard was having some issues streaming to Twitch, but it looks like we're back and we're good again. So this is our map, and what I did was, let me do this first. I made some tiles to map out our journey to the Troll Shaws.
Oh, yay, tiles!
Well, I was trying to figure out how I was going to do that, right? In the rules for the One Ring, they have a journey log, but they haven't actually made that available yet. But I get the sense it's going to work kind of something like this. So we'll have a starting hex, which is Rivendell, right? I would put it over top of Rivendell, but these tiles are a little large, but I kind of want them to be that way. So this starting tile is Rivendell, where we're starting from, right? And then we have some tiles that kind of make out. One tile is 20 miles of journeying. In the forums for the One Ring, again, they haven't said, but the feel is that they're going with 20-mile hexes, because that's about a hex a day. 2, 3, 4, and this last one is kind of our final hex. Yeah, see what's happening there?
That's cool.
And so then we have a marker. This is us, or actually, this is the company, you guys, and we start here in Rivendell, right?
The Fellowship.
Yes, the Fellowship. There we go. And then as we have events, I will use this tile to cover where on the journey we had an event, or we're having an event. Does that make sense?
That's some nifty stuff. I love the tech.
Nice.
I want to give a shout out to the tile maker. I can't remember his name right now. He's on itch.io. I grabbed those tiles from out there. I'll probably talk to Sean to figure out how to get those in the notes here somewhere so that we can give some credit to that guy. But these were cool tiles, so I bought them off of itch.io. So first we got to pick roles about who's doing what along this journey. And again, the journey is, what is it, 10, 20, 30, 40? I need one more tile. It's 50 miles from Rivendell.
You know.
So we kind of do it like this.
Well, if they're 20-mile hexes.
Yeah, if it's 50 miles, you don't need that many.
1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. I don't need that one, and I don't need this one.
Do you have Daphne doing your math? Because that's not a good call.
Well, no. So in my head, there's supposed to be 5 tiles, because I did the math ahead of time using the old One Ring maps. Yeah, so there's one more tile. And here we are. Let's do this, because it didn't like that one. And then we end up there. Nice. So the roles are guide, hunter, lookout, and scout. The guide is in charge of navigation, rest and supplies, all the decisions concerning the route. The hunter is in charge of finding food in the wild. The lookout is in charge of keeping watch. And the scout is in charge of setting up camp and opening new trails. So you folks decide who's doing what. And it looks like somebody's going to have 2 roles.
I was going to volunteer for guide, mostly because I have I've got 3 travel and it's favored.
That seems to make sense. Daphne could take hunting because, she names animals and kills them. Beautiful symmetry.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm just taking a look at the traveling company info, trying to figure out what are the skill sets needed, but I guess I'll just fill in.
If you look at there's like on page 113 is like possible skills you might have to roll
Right.
as those things, which could potentially help you.
Cool. Thank you. I think I'll be a lookout. It seems
Okay.
like
So
something
then-
Nindor would do is to be able to tell you he saw something you didn't.
Yeah. Scouts.
Something he would do or something he would take great joy in pointing out.
Nindor would not take great joy in doing such a simple thing.
What is
Nice.
okay. Well, that's not bad. And then somebody will have to double up
Right.
to be this. You said lookout, Rich?
Yes.
Okay.
Um,
So somebody needs
we
to
have-
double up to be scout. Setting
That's
up
fine.
camp, opening.
I can take that.
Oh, okay.
Oh. I don't mind
Oh.
taking it, but if you really want it,
I was just gonna say because it already seems like it has some overlap with guide because it talks about setting up camp and opening trails, which seems like also. But I'm good either way.
yeah, guide does all decisions concerning route, rest, and supplies.
Right.
Scout is in charge of setting up camp, opening new trails.
Right.
That does
But,
sound
yeah.
very overlapping.
Right.
Yeah,
Absolutely. I think Scout should be a different name.
probably.
If you're setting up camp, and I think that there's the names have a lot of overlap there. And,
I guess
that
there's
seems a little
like
bit-
some assumption that like, the guide is sort of laying out this is where we're going and how we're getting there, and then the scout kind of goes out in front and does it. Maybe.
Oh, like a pilot and a navigator. The pilot is
yeah, maybe
yeah, and then the navigator's like, here's the route, but he's not actually blazing the trail or anything.
Yeah,
Could
I
be,
feel like
yeah.
maybe the idea is the scout is the trailblazer.
I got you. Yeah.
Whichever. So okay, it works.
All right, fantastic. So I've laid out the tiles kind of in the direction that you might be heading into the troll shaws to cross paths with Heleth. I think we just jump in and work through it rather than me try to explain it. I think it becomes apparent as we play through it, right? And I like this change from the old game if you played the old one. So we're going to start with the guide making a marching roll, which is based on travel.
Gotcha. So that already brings up my first question.
Mm-hmm.
Because when I was reading it earlier, because it talks about ponies and horses, and they can provide benefits, but it's not clear if just having the pony gives you the benefit or if we actually have to be riding it. I wasn't.
So it looks like I see what you're asking. Well, mechanically, in order to get the benefit, you have to spin their vigor to do that.
Okay. Which maybe that's just sort of hand waving, like
Right. Whether
using
you're
limits.
right.
Okay. Well, because they can because like I've got a nice pony because I'm a dwarf. Like they can give you a bonus to your travel roll, which I'm not gonna say more dice. So, but I don't know if that bonus is meant to be if I'm riding. It's kind of vague.
It is vague. I'm looking at that now. Yes. That is vague. So in the breakout box, it says the guide can cross out one of the company's mounts, vigor boxes, to add a number of dice to a marching test.
Oh, I see. So if I want those bonus dice, I can be like, I'm gonna check this box off.
Right.
Okay, that makes way more sense. It's not just an
Yeah.
auto. Okay, and I'm not gonna bother with that then for our first roll because I don't.
Yeah, because once the journey is over, they recover all their lost vigor.
Pretty quick.
But
yeah.
they don't. Yeah, until the yes. There we go.
Okay. Cool. So I have to make a marching test,
Yes, based on travel.
which is just travel. Okay, which for me is favored. So let's do that, and then I get a second. Oh, do I have any? Nah. Okay. trying to see if I want to like make use of anything, but I think we'll just go. Okay, so I get it favored, so that's already a pretty good bonus. So there we go. Ooh. I believe a 10 is a Gandalf, right?
Yes, it is. No, it's a 12.
Oh yeah, 11 is
Sauron, right, or the eye.
There you
Right,
go. That's
the eye. Yes.
Either way, I got 23 versus 17, so I'm good.
Yes,
Nice.
you are good. How many successes do you have?
I didn't get any 6s.
Okay. All right. All right. So what happens is this roll determines when the first event takes place. Right. So if you fail it, right, it takes place pretty close to when you take off. So if we're counting, I'm trying to move the tile on the wrong screen. If you fail that roll, right, your first event takes place here, right? But in passing it, it takes place here, plus an extra hex for every success you have.
Oh, okay.
Right. And we keep making that travel roll till you get to where you're going. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So all the travel roll is how far can I go on this journey before we run into the next event.
I see.
Right. The old way, we roll a bunch of dice trying to figure out do events happen. Right.
It was like for every hex, pretty much.
Yes. So there is an event 3 hexes in, and we can call that 2 days in, 2 days out from Rivendell. We have an event. Again, the Trollshaws are a dense, crowded kind of forest area. Hilly, the terrain is rough, and we're kind of in a rainy season, so there's a lot of rainfall. Sometimes there's not flash floods, but strong running water as the terrain is broken up. Too many screens. Here we go. So our first event is Ill Choices. And it's the guide. So what I want to do here is they keep them broad, so we're filling in the fiction, right? So the guide has some type of ill choice. You'll get a test that you have to pass. Failing it, failing these tests generally increases your fatigue, right?
Okay.
And we'll talk about that as we walk through this. So this is a guide test. I'm looking up ill choices. Yeah, so failing this event causes Farron much grief or frustration. Like maybe you couldn't decide on the right way, feared the worst as the guide. This test is, what is this based on? This is a lore test for you.
Oh, okay.
You got lots of lore though. So I think 2 days out, right? You're faced with how to continue forward. Do we keep moving westerly, or do we move north? Maybe there's some obstruction, right? That you have to route around,
Gotcha.
and you've got to make some decisions here. And we're going to find out if you make the right path decision.
Okay. Okay, so I clear this lore, which is wits, which is not great. That's okay. I think I might try to add some bonus dice.
Cool.
So again, things we talked about offline. So I could spend a hope just straight up for 1 die.
Yes.
Or I could inspire myself with a what are they called? Distinctive feature, and then the hope would give me 2 dice.
Oh, nice.
So I'm gonna inspire myself with my cunning, because I'm trying to keep us safe from trolls and bad men from the south. So I'm looking for the less traveled paths through like these deep forests.
Right.
gotta figure out what I'm hoping. So that gives me. Whatever that works out to be. Oh, hey, 15. That's exactly what I needed.
Nice.
Yay!
I definitely needed those extra dice.
Failing this check would have gotten you 2 fatigue points. And then we match our fatigue points up against our, I think it's our load, as we're traveling along, and that has detrimental effects as we move forward. Nice passing that test. You talked about hope, so let's talk about fellowship focus, because there's a pool of hope points there that I always forget about. And so I think it's 1 point for everybody is the pool, and then you have to decide when. Let me pull that up real quick, so we have that too.
Fellowship.
Yeah, because that's another resource you all have, your characters have access to. And I meant to do that. Last game, I can't find it.
What are you looking for?
Page 54.
Oh, I thought maybe you're looking on the character sheet. Sorry.
Yeah, it's fellowship focus. And they're kind of like an extra pool of hope points. Kind of. If I can find page 54.
So,
there we are.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, so I'm looking for how to determine how many of those points you have. All right, so yeah, the starting fellowship score of the company is equal to the number of player heroes in the group. So that's 3, right? I don't think we have any blessings or bonuses to that. We may have to go back and check what Kirdan gives us, but I don't know that he gives us anything to our fellowship rating. So you have 3, right? So it's a common pool of points shared by all of you. Any point spent has to be unanimous.
We get +1 for Kierden.
Is that right? Wow, okay. So
They
there's
all-
4 there.
Yeah, they all give a bonus, it looks like.
Well, then they should just say the size of the fellowship +1.
Well, there's different bonuses for different.
Yeah, Bilbo gets 3.
For real. Man, those hobbits.
That's why they need him. Lucky number 13.
Never underestimate the power of joy.
All right, so that's our fellowship score. And then there's the fellowship focus, which represents the loyalty that adventurers feel toward each other. But some of them might share an additional level of companionship with another member of the company. So what we do here is you're choosing who your another player character as your character's fellowship focus. Each player can choose one member of the company as their fellowship focus. So it's a bond, and the bond doesn't have to be mutual. In game terms, you gain an advantage when you receive help from your fellowship focus. But it comes at a price. You gain a shadow point whenever your focus is wounded, suffers a bout of madness, or is otherwise seriously harmed. Does that make sense? So let's do that. Let's start with Daphne. Daphne will choose a fellowship focus, and then we'll go around.
I mean, Daphne loves everyone.
Can
So-
Daphne choose one of the horses or ponies?
I mean, that is who I was deciding between. Is it going to be Buttercup or
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So I could do this. Let's do this. If you don't know now, it's fine. You can pass, but you must choose before this session is over. So you can say pass now, and if it comes up, you can say, I've decided who my focus is.
I think I might have to do that because I have to decide which one of these crabby gentlemen I'm traveling with I want to bring joy to most. And it's a battle, let me tell you.
That's perfect. I like it. There's an option here that you can choose later at any point during the game. I'm adding the time constraint. Let's choose today before this game's over.
I'm good with that.
Cool. Farron.
I think I'm going to choose Daphne as mine because I worry if I don't look after her that she's not going to survive the wilds.
Nice.
I don't know what you're talking about. There's no danger out here. Everything's great.
Like the troll.
And Nindor, do you have a choice?
I do. And just so we're clear, this is not something that Nindor indicates to the Fellowship. It's just a thing we as the players know.
I think Nindor could. I think Nindor has this inside himself. Whether he shares it with everyone else, he doesn't have to, right? But Nindor has decided I'm looking out for Farron or I'm looking out for Daphne. But he doesn't have to say to Daphne, right? He doesn't. Does that make sense?
It does. I just want to make sure that we were on the same page.
Yeah.
I choose the dwarf.
And we, the players, know, of course. Yes.
Yeah, Farron
but
has
yes.
no idea. I don't
Yeah,
care.
Farron doesn't have to have. Yeah, Farron doesn't.
He's
have to have
literally
any
beneath
idea.
my notice
Yes.
because he's short. That's a short joke.
That's the one you
No.
get. One per session.
One per session.
That is it. Yes. Fantastic.
28
I like
minutes
it.
in. Okay.
All right. So back to the journey. There's my journey rules. And we're on the map, and I got to go grab this map. Too many screens. So yeah, so that is the location of that. And I think I like it. I think I like Farron having to consider where the trolls are, avoiding bad men out here, and moving in a direct course toward where you think Helith is going to end up at. So I think that's fantastic. And you find a path, right? And so we're moving on. You will make another travel roll. And again, you're going to keep making these travel rolls until the journey is done. And so they're pretty much deciding how far you move, how far the Fellowship moves before the next event.
Well, I'll just get us there the next time because I'm like.
Yep.
Wait, it's 12. Okay. I say that and now I'm feeling panicked, but it's fine.
And in my head, I'm like, oh yeah, he jinxed that roll. This is fantastic. That roll is done.
No, it's fine. Oh, wait. I guess. No, that's fine. Because since I rolled 2d12,
Mhm.
I take the better of the two, but one of them is an 11, which is an Eye of Sauron.
Right.
So I take the other one, which is a 5. So I'm
Right. Okay. Yes.
I'm like, yeah, I'm good.
So
And
you
I
make-
got
Mhm.
one success. Not that it matters this time because we're there.
Yeah, because we're there. On successes, you'll move 3 hexes and then +1 for each success. So, and that's how travel works. I'm glad this was a short journey, right? So we can see how that works. But I suspect we'll have longer ones, and I'll need to fix those hexes. So yeah, I think we're just on the edge of the forest. The land becomes a little more barren, way more rocky. The other thing is, like I said, for every hex, you can assume a day has passed. if you want to know how long the journey took. And then they have a calculation in there for horses. I think they say if the terrain is everything but rough, you can half the time if you've got horses. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Oh. Cool. So let me get rid of these tiles. So you arrive, let's say midday. There's a campsite. There's a fire around what may have been the remains. You can see the edges of a structure that has long since been destroyed and weatherized, and but there are horses there and there are men there around the campsite when you arrive just before noon.
I think Nindor will break off and ahead of the two. He's already scouting, so he wants to creep up and try to observe these men, see if he can eavesdrop, understand who are these men. Do they have any symbols on them?
Right.
Heraldry, anything along those lines.
I like that. So we're doing a little recon first. That's perfect. I think that might be 2 checks for Nindor. One, I'm assuming you don't want to be seen.
No, I do not.
And next, to discern who these men are. So I think your first roll is stealth, and I think your next one will be riddle. What's Daphne and Farron doing when Nindor sneaks off?
Oh, so if Nindor is close enough to give Daphne and Farron a heads up, he would slip back to them. But if he was scouting way ahead, he would scout and then come back. So you tell me if you saw Nindor as being significantly ahead because he was scouting, or if he's close enough to.
I see where you're. No, so let's say that you saw the campsite and you dropped back to Daphne and Farron, and then now you're going to go get a better idea of. So they are aware that you're doing this.
I've seen men at a campsite. I'll learn more.
Be friendly.
Don't go up to say hello to them, please, Daphne. Of course.
Not yet.
This could be the men that Helith was looking for.
True. And then I will sneak up ahead. So my stealth, I'm screwed on riddle. I thought you were going to hit me out with lore, which is why I was looking for heraldry.
I know. I was reading your mind.
Mm-hmm. So my, I don't know, would swift be something you felt like applied here?
I think so.
Moving up
yeah,
quickly and quietly. Okay.
Yes, I will take it. I like it.
All right.
I think it colors how you're working.
3 dice of swift and then my extra d12. What am I looking for? What's my? What do I need to stealth up to?
Yes, it's your. Let me run through your sheet here. It's your. What is that skill? It's your wits. 20 minus your wits. So I think it's 14, right?
Oh, yes. Sorry. Yeah. Wits target number. There we go. Sorry.
I was actually going to say earlier when Jeremiah was making his target checks, what I love about this game is I don't know what he's got to hit, right? But he knows, and that's fantastic. I don't have to care. He knows if he hit it or not.
So I get to count all of the 6s within the skill, right? And then one of the d12s. Is that right? Because I roll the extra d12 from. Okay. Then I have successfully hit the target number by rolling a 17 with 2 6s. So
nice.
So that's 100% improvement from last week, man.
It is amazing what happens when I roll something I have more than 1 die in.
Yeah. And you
That's
got
fantastic.
2 6s, which can come in.
Yeah.
I don't know
I
if
got
that's
2
going to be
sixes.
helpful here.
I hope it like bleeds over to Riddle.
But
Man, that would be nice, though, right?
It would be cool.
What I will do is, depending on how this plays out, we will remember you have those 2 6s. So anything related to stealth or being swift, we'll make sure you get an advantage for that. Does that make sense? But I don't see how that's going to help you with Riddle. So I think you're close enough. You're using the terrain to kind of hide yourself, camouflage yourself. You can make out a little conversation of the men. You can see their clothing and attire. There are 4 men there. When I say men, I mean that culturally, like elves and dwarves. There are 3 males and a woman. There's 2 ponies, and you recognize Sally, Helith's horse. Now you can make your riddle roll, and I might tell you some more.
I thought Hellis horse was Thunderbolt.
Was it Thunderbolt? Oh,
I'm
See-
pretty sure.
correction. You
I
recognize.
could be wrong because I did
No,
read
you-
my notes, but
I was gonna say I can't read my own handwriting. I have Thunderbolt and I have Sally down here, and I'm like, oh, that must be Helith's because I don't have a name next to it. All right, you recognize Helith's horse, Thunderbolt, and maybe because it has like a little shock of a thunderbolt, maybe on its head section, or maybe somewhere
Nice.
on it, right? Maybe, and that's how
It was
you.
the
Oh,
horse
hey.
who lived.
Yes, the horse who lived.
Yeah, so I'm rolling a d12 against a target number of 14. So
Oh,
I guess I need a Gandalf.
yes, you need a Gandalf,
or
or
you can always spend hope and
yes.
Could spend hope. I really want to be a good scout. I don't feel like Lordly Swift or Shadow Lore apply here. Please tell me Shadow Lore doesn't apply here.
Not yet.
So I have 1 hope. I'll spend that hope. Give
Okay.
myself a what? Another d12, I think.
yeah, it adds 1 unless you use a distinctive feature, in which it adds 2. Oh no, sorry. Hope just adds an extra die.
Right.
An extra die of what type?
An extra d6.
Oh crap.
Yeah.
Well, how do I make it go? Okay. Well, I rolled a 7 on the d12. I don't know how to remove dice once you've added it. Okay,
you
there we
click
go.
them and they'll go away.
Click
So if
the
you need to
actual
clear them,
die type, but if you click in the circle, it rolls.
yeah, it
But
rolls.
if you click on the die type, it'll take it away. All right,
Yeah, if
I'm
you
gonna
need to
go
clear
ahead.
them and start over, yeah, that's cool.
I knew I was going to fail. It's fine. I spent some hope, though. Just know, with this failure, I spent hope. You, the players, know that my abysmal failure.
Yes. I think yeah, you can't you don't make out these men. They're not from around here. They're not Bree, right? They're not Bardings. And they have Helith's horse.
I'll sneak back to my compatriots.
And they look like they're breaking camp. So they're putting out. They've had their meal. They're putting out the campfire. They're being good outdoors folk, right? And breaking down the campfire and all that good stuff. Returning the turf, all that stuff. So they look like they're breaking camp, and will be on their way shortly.
I will move back swiftly.
Yes, you will.
3 men, 1 lady, all humans. Sally is with them.
Thunderbolt.
Thunderbolt is with I just followed the path, Lord Master. Thunderbolt is with them, Helith's horse.
Oh, okay.
They're breaking camp now and leaving. If we wish to
But-
speak with them, we should do so now.
But no sign of Helith?
No sign of Helith.
well, did Thunderbolt seem upset?
No.
Was that was the horse she was riding? Is that right?
I think
Yes.
so.
Yes. That was the horse she was riding. Yeah.
I mean, did Thunderbolt seem upset? I'm just answering, but
I'm letting you go because
riddle, so I'm going with what I
exactly.
So,
that's why I didn't interrupt. I'm going with your riddle. Yes,
you bet. Sounds good. Yes. Thunderbolt did not seem upset.
I mean, my first thought is we follow them, see where they're going.
You mean join them and say hello, right?
Not if they waylaid Haleth.
Well, they're just watching over Thunderbolt.
Or they stole Thunderbolt.
I think that would make Thunderbolt upset.
Horses are pretty happy as long as you feed them.
Not mine.
Caution is the better approach at this time. I do think that we should follow them just for a bit.
Okay.
And again, my thought is we want to follow them without being seen.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Daphne will put her dulcimer away because now is not the time to play.
Nice. So I believe I'm a little short on. I think there's a group roll. I think that's what this is.
Oh, okay. I was trying to remember if there was actually rules for group rolls.
I thought there was. Go ahead.
I didn't think there was, but maybe there is.
Yeah, because if not, that means everybody is making a stealth check. Which
so I found into there's a who rolls section on page 17. In general, it's highly advisable to have a single player make the roll, even if it involves the entire group. Whoever is most fit can stand forward.
Nice.
And then if we want, we can use the rules for supporting or whatever.
Yeah, let's do that. I like that. I like that. So who wants to lead the stealth? Going quietly, following quietly. Check.
Not Daphne. She feels the need to describe things as she goes if she's in front so the others know what's coming, and it's just not great for a stealthy.
Nindor is a sly little fox. I recommend that he lead this.
Well, then, yeah, go for it.
Yeah.
All right. So my target is a 14. I actually didn't realize when I first rolled the way that you built this roll sheet, Matt J. It tells us the reference, so it's right there. I was going and looking all over the sheet. It's right there in front of me.
Yeah, it's my engineering thing. I'm like, the sheet is interactive. I don't need to recreate the paper sheet. I need to make this sheet make playing easier online. Right? And so that was where my head was. That's
a really nice little doohickey you did there. Awesome. I'm going to go ahead and roll. I'm rolling 3 dice and my D12. Oof. I have a click down to show total. Ha! That's so nice. I was doing the math. There's so many cool bits and roll. I have succeeded.
Well, that 11 is worth 0.
Oh man, I've failed.
Yes.
A lot.
That 11 is that. Yes.
However, so one thing I was just looking because I was double checking what our patron gives us.
Yes.
Kierden gives us the ability to spend a fellowship and roll all dice in a roll that produces an eye.
Yeah, you see her looking at it. That's pretty sweet. I want to do that thing.
Cheaty patrons.
I'm so it has to
He's
be
an
is
elf
that-
too, isn't he?
Yeah. Kieran is an elf, yeah.
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 That's
I am on board with this use of a fellowship point.
For sure.
Daff, you cool? All right, here
Yes.
we go. I'm gonna clear
fantastic.
and then re-roll me some stealth. Oh man, it's worse, but it's. I rolled 2 ones, a 4 and a 2. That's an 8 total on 4 dice.
That's rough.
Can't be destiny.
Yes, it is meant to be.
I'm sorry, I ruined our fellowship thing. I spent fellowship. I'm sorry. It just not
It
meant
is-
to happen.
Yes, it
There's
is
a
meant to
twig.
be.
I found the twig.
Thunderbolt recognizes your scent and
Yeah, for sure. So I think what happens is you spend some time following these 4 men and the 2 ponies and Thunderbolt, right? I think we spent a good chunk of the afternoon heading west, more west than north, through some rocky terrain, some broken terrain, and they kind of traveled down into a ravine-like kind of thing. So the walls kind of come up on the sides, right? And it seems like they're slowing down, and then they're slowing down, right? And then they stop. And that's when you realize that you have them where they want you, right? There are 2 more that are riding up behind you as you were following the 4 in front of you. Does that make sense? 2 more men, and they're just riding their horses. No weapons are out. They're moving slow, right? They're just like, we've been watching you, right? And now we're going to have a conversation kind of posture is where they are. Does that make sense? They get, let's say, a nice social distance from you, the 2 riders from the rear. There's a man and a woman, and the woman introduces herself as Zanhavi is her name. And then she asks, "Are you lost?"
I will lean over toward Nendor and just be like, "This is where we get to say hello now, right?"
I think your expertise is needed.
That's fantastic.
So I will introduce myself. I'm Daphne, daughter of Daldor. This is Nendor and Farron, my companions. And no, we're not lost. We're following you.
Nice. I like it. So what I want to do here, this is going to be unusual, but I think it gets us some practice using the social encounters, right? So we're going to have a council, right? You still stand to gain and lose something here, so I think we're still in the spirit of that. If you're following along, what is that? I'm on page 160. Oh no, 103 is where I'm at. I already know what the resistance is, right? And again, I'm being open. These are sometimes hidden numbers when we're doing social encounters. So the resistance right now is 4. Oh, it's 3. I'm sorry. Right?
Wait,
Right.
you said it's on page 103 of the PDF of the alpha?
104. It's on 104.
It's a
Okay.
104. Yeah.
All right, rock on. I'm with you.
Sorry
now.
about that.
It's okay. I'm like, oh, why do we need range combat? It's cool. It's cool. It's cool.
No, so I don't have my glasses on, and at first it looked like 160, and I'm like, oh no, wait, that's 104. So let me fix that. Right. Here we
Put
go.
on your peepers.
Those are
Come on.
your lore master specs.
Yes, my lower master specs.
It makes you seem more authoritative, Jay.
Makes me feel old though.
I know what you mean.
All right.
But now you joined the Glasses Club with me and Jeremiah.
Yeah, it's true. What sucks is I get up in the morning and I'll go downstairs to the basement where my office is, and I want to read something, and my glasses are upstairs, right? And it sucks.
Yep.
So I do not like it. Where was I? Oh, so we're studying the resistance, and I think, why did I say it was 4?
That's a good question. Well, it almost sounds like we need to figure out what we want first, and then you decide how
Right.
reasonable or unreasonable.
Your request is, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have an idea other than why do you have Helith's horse? What you might want from these folks?
I mean, my first thought is just one step beyond that of, we want to reconnect with Helith, right? Because we're looking for her. So,
Right.
So maybe just finding Helith, assuming that they know where she is.
Right. I think that's a reasonable request. So the deal is, I think it's not quite a bold request as I read this, but it's a little more than reasonable. So it's somewhere in between. Since this is our first council, I'm going to go with the lesser of the two, right? And so we're going to call it reasonable. So your resistance, the value is 3, right? And essentially, I think that means you have to get 3. Man, I had this down this morning when I read through this.
A lot of data has happened since then.
Yes, because this always messes me up because it feels like kind of a race. We got to get 3 successes before. Right, there we are. Before. Because you have a number of tries, and then you have a number of successes you have to have. And what I don't know is, we know how many you need. I don't know how much time you have.
There's where it says useful skills. So basically, each of those skills can only be used once unless we roll hope. So if we get through that list and we don't want to roll hope anymore, then we're done.
Okay, yeah. All right.
And there's a fair number of options.
Yeah, there are. All right, let's do that then. Cool. So it's 3. It's simple, right? We're going to do the introduction. Well, we have done the introduction, and Daphne's doing the introduction. She's the spokesperson of the company. Yeah?
Of course.
All right. So I think you've got some options based on how you presented yourself. I think all to impress strangers quickly, revealing much about yourself, or courtesy, asking for support, especially from friends. I think those 2 fit. There's riddle, but I don't know that that's how you came across. Riddle is to extract information without revealing too much, but I'm not sure that's how you introduce.
That doesn't sound like a death.
Right.
No. Sorry, I'm just reading the little descriptions of these to see which one fits best.
Now, I will say, all the riders, they're not clones, but a lot of the colors, the clothing, the style are the same. They're kind of fall colors, grays, browns, dark blues, like that, right? Like I said, they're not Bree men, and they're not from Dale or Bardings, right? You can tell that, but whatever they are, they're the same, all 6 of these folks. So there's some commonality between them. my new AirPods, they don't like me. They don't stay in my ears. I have to put them in backwards. I have to put the right one in the left ear and the left one in the right ear. It's a mess. So yes, all or courtesy. It's up to you.
I think maybe leaning more toward courtesy with the freely giving the names and like we were totally following you and we got nothing to hide. Let's be friends.
Nice. So you will roll, and on a success, the time limit is raised by 1, and then for every success you get, you increase that time limit by 1. A failure means you've got 3 rolls to make this happen.
Okay. So I got a 15, which beats my 13.
Nice.
But no 6s.
All right. So that means you folks need 3 successes over 4 tries. Does that make sense? And that's what the introduction does. So that's what I was looking for. The introduction sets how long or how many rolls, how many shots you have.
So that kind of flips the sand timer and
right.
We go.
Right.
Okay.
And then what Jeremiah said is also true. Of that list of skills, right, you can only use them once unless you spin the hope.
So what's like the starting time limit? That's what I wasn't.
Yeah, so it's based on the resistance, which is 3.
Yeah.
And then the introduction can add more to it. So in this case, Daphne's roll added 1 more to the 3.
Oh, okay.
So you have 4 tries, and out of 4 tries, you need 3 successes.
Gotcha.
Some rolls will increase the time.
Oh yeah, because like each of the little
Right.
skills kind of can do their own.
So you kind of have like a little mini game happening in here. There's the interaction section, but I'm gonna leave that alone. But the next time we do council stuff, I'll add those in. Those are prejudices, right? If we're having a dwarven council and you show up with an elf, they might have a prejudice and that affects your dice. I won't add those in now. This is our first shot. So I kind of want to get used to the base mechanics. And then we make them more complex as we play.
Gotcha.
So with that, I think that's a good introduction. Zanhavi says, I am Zanhavi of the Dunedain. You are traveling in dangerous lands, and if you're lost, we're more than happy to help you find your way. You will have to remind me, Daphne, I forgot what all you said in your introduction.
So far, I have introduced us and let them know that we were following them, but not lost.
Gotcha. All right. Perfect. I wasn't sure if you mentioned Helith or not, so I wasn't sure if I needed to add anything else. So yeah, she says that, and then I guess she'll ask, to what ends are you following us?
Well, really, we're just following Thunderbolt, the horse with the marking on his forehead. We're looking for his rider.
Nice. So I'm looking at what to fit that in, because we're going to make a check, right? This is our first, and Daphne will make this check, right? Because you're the one still talking.
Maybe I can embellish a little bit and drive it more towards one of these intentionally.
Perfect. Yeah.
So I will add, we noticed how good of a job you all did putting out your fire and clearing down your camp and taking care of the forest. And Thunderbolt really doesn't seem upset at all or malnourished. And that has just been so wonderful to see. So you're clearly good people. So hopefully you can help us find other good people because Hellas is also good people.
That's fantastic. I love it. I'm hearing in Harton. That's what I hear.
Give them
Is-
a
is it-
little.
Is that what you were shooting for?
That's where it was. Yeah.
That's perfect. Yeah, that's perfect.
Okay.
So yeah, that's an in Harton test. That is fantastic.
Let's do that. Oh no. It's a 7, which does not beat my 13.
Oh no.
Standing too close to Nendor.
Oh,
Nindor
no.
was scowling. Yes. So.
All right. So it's not over, right? Things are just tight right now. Then.
Okay, so something I'm not super clear on because again, alpha rules and it seems a little vague. So
Yeah, no, I'm with you.
it has that list of quote useful skills and it says they can be used to various effects. So it makes me think like we have other options. Those aren't the only skills we can use necessarily because that seems like a small skill list for maybe I don't know. It's just that
No, I
wording
agree.
of-
Yeah. No, I agree with you. I think the key part there is that we can't employ the same skill more than once. But
yeah.
I think they run through this list as examples. No, I'm with you. I don't think these are the only skills. I agree.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, I don't know what else would be even useful, but I mean, I guess I could straight up like use awe just to like, try to make them listen or something like that because it could sort of be socially, I guess.
I want to do a thing before we go. I want to step back just a little bit because I forget and I just saw it. There's penalty dice and bonus dice, and what I don't want to let pass because it's because it's close. You rolled a 7, Heidi, and you needed a 13.
Yep.
So what I want to do is I liked that in Harton speech, right? So I should have tossed the bonus dice at you when you did that. So if you would just roll a d6, I know it's a long shot, but I want to get in the habit of remembering, right, that I can do that. That's a thing the Lore Master has, and I thought that was fantastic. So I don't want to forget it. I want to get in the habit of doing that.
Come on, 6.
Sweet.
Come on, 6.
Oh man.
Like I said, I knew it was a long shot, but for me, it was important to start doing that because I'll forget, right?
Yeah.
So cool. So we're down 1, but we still got 3 more attempts, and we could, right? Yeah, we can eke those out. And I'm looking now. I know there's a way to increase the time limit based on some of these rules, and I'm trying to find out how that happens.
The only thing I've seen is that like if you actually roll 6s, they count as additional successes, which is nice.
Yes, okay. No, you're right. That is it.
Yeah, I think that's
all right. That makes it work. In my mechanical brain, I'm like, because that's a rough path if there's no way to increase the time. But you're right. The additional 6s count as successes.
Kind of helps against that. Yeah.
Right. All right. So that works. What do we want to do next? Do we want to hear from our host, Zanhavi, or one of you jumping in before?
I kind of had like a vague idea.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really know how to like approach it as far as like an actual conversation, but like in the back of my head, like Farron is thinking like these guys might not be enemies. So like I'm thinking of like following up on what Daphne said that we were following them or whatever. So like I was going to start laying out these crumbs of like our journey to get here, but like in kind of like vague, broad strokes, but kind of, we met this person, in this case, Hellas kind of a thing, and a horse. So my thinking is like, if I pepper some little like things in there, like not only might they recognize that we might be allies, but it might cause them to help fill in the blanks in a weird way, like provide us with information. So I'm kind of hoping to like riddle some information.
Yes, I was gonna say
out of
this sounds
conversation.
like riddle. Yes, I like it. Let's do it.
I am okay. Do I have anything? Oh, I'm not. None of my equipment is going to help with this. Yeah, do I want to keep spending hope? I mean, it's there to be spent, really. You know what? I'm going to make use of my my cunning again to inspire me so that I can spend hope and get 2 more dice.
Here we go.
So as soon as I can figure out, okay, so I'm gonna do that, but that gives me 2 more dice. Yeah, so I think just sort of being cunning and like drawing them into this conversation that I'm sort of like conversationally running laps around in a way or something. That'll do it. Oh wait, that 11 doesn't count. That still does it. 16.
Nice.
Squeak.
Oh, with 2 6s.
Okay, I was gonna ask with any successes.
Oh.
Nice.
So that's all
Nice.
3.
Nice.
Yeah, I was gonna say that might be it. That's everything.
I set
that's
you up,
everything.
you spike it.
That's right. Team effort. That was worth a will or a hope or whatever.
Yeah, no, that's fantastic. Yes. So I think Helith, Sanhavi gets off of her horse and holding it by the reins, closes the distance. The other rider stays where he is, and so do the other 4 up ahead. But she closes the distance, again, cautiously walking over to the fellowship where you folks are. We will take a break right there, and then I will tell you what she says when we get back on the other side. Yeah. I'm going to kick off this fantastic video I made in Canva while we take 10-minute break. Is that good? Cool. So we'll be back in 10 minutes. All right. Welcome back, everybody. I gotta fix that looping intermission. All right. Cool. So, what's everybody been up to the past 2 weeks?
I can go first. So it's a turnover a new month, and every month I run a different slate of games on Saturdays as part of Star Wars Saturdays. So the last 2 weeks I finished up a couple of games, and this weekend I'm kicking off a couple of different games. I'll be running Rust Hulks, which is a Powered by the Apocalypse game about a freighter crew that has some really interesting relationship mechanics. And it's fun. It's got this fun bit that's really better suited for a live table where you're supposed to draw your ship. And I've got it in Google Drawing, and I've run it once before, and it worked out okay. But I'm looking forward to that. And I'm also running a 2-shot of Space Aces, which is this wild little super creative modular game that the pitch is like your gig workers in a sci-fi future. And I thought, why not try to cram that into Star Wars and have a goofy good time.
Right. And what is that called? Space Aces?
Space Aces. Yeah, it's really inexpensive. You can grab it on drive-through. It's gone through a few different iterations. It's like a one-page game, but then there's like a bunch of other pages. So you want to figure out a space monster. Here's a whole page of like different tables and stuff.
Right.
It would tickle your brain. It's worth checking out.
All right.
For sure.
I will check it out. Rust Hulks, I'm familiar with. That was something I wanted to play around with and haven't gotten it to the table yet. So
we got to play it sometime, man. It's good. You'll dig it.
All right. Cool. What are you playing? I was going to say Daphne. Oh, my goodness. What are you playing, Heidi? And that's because I'm looking at the name tag and I see Daphne first.
I'm just trying to throw you off, keeping you on your toes. Well, see, so normally we would have played our next session of Lady Blackbird, which we talked about last time.
Right.
But we were down a player, so we waited. And instead we spent the evening gabbing game stuff, which was really fun to do together in a group and just talk about past really wonderful sessions and past terrible sessions and games that we want to exist in the world that don't yet, but might someday, and just kind of nerding out together with people of a like-minded nature was really fun.
Nice. Jeremiah. On your playlist.
Game-wise, this is about it. I've got my Misspent Youth game that we're getting ready to wrap up. My youthful offenders have been too good at taking down the bad guy, so cutting it a little short.
How many sessions of that have you played so far?
4.
4? Okay, yeah.
And
is that live or online?
It's online.
Cool. You figured out a way to handle, like, because you have the little run of the numbers and stuff like that. You've got a way to mark up those numbers.
Basically doing everything in a character keeper. Like somebody.
Oh, cool.
Somebody made kind of a basic one that I found, and then I've made some changes to it that I thought made a little more sense. But yeah, one of the things in there is the little map of numbers for doing conflicts, and it works out pretty well. It's nice because you can like highlight the colors for each person so you know who got what. So that actually works out pretty well.
Surprising no one, I hacked that for Star Wars.
That doesn't surprise me. Yeah.
They played a bunch of Rebel Twi'leks on Ryloth. But anyway, I like that game. It's fun.
Yeah,
that's fantastic. Very cool. I'm still running Champions now. I'm winding down the team ups I have from the Kickstarter, and that's been fun. I think I talked about it on the podcast last week with Jay. All the team ups have a similarity that none of them collaborated on. It's just popping up in the different games. So I have like 3 different games, 3 different sets of people. And when they're making their super team work for corporation. Everyone's employees of a corporation. So I've got 3 different corporations from these 3 different sessions no one's an independent team like the X-Men or the Avengers, right? Where they're just kind of independent and working together. There's this corporation, and we're superpowered individuals, but we're working for the corporation using our superpowers. And I'm like, where does that come from? Why is that happening? Why do three different groups come up with the same thing? And so my first guess is to run through all the printed materials that I've handed out. Did I say something that triggered that, right? That made that happen? And but other than that, it's been fun. It's been fantastic. So we've been playing all online games with that. So
Think they all been watching The Boys on Prime or something?
That's what I was gonna say.
yeah, it's very possible, right? And that was my first thought. Is it that, right? And or is it real life, right? I hope it's The Boys, because that's more that's less depressing, right? Than right.
Something about super gig workers. That seems
Yes.
weird.
Yes, that seems weird. The premises are awesome, right? I like all the premises, right? So they're making it work. It's not tongue in cheek or anything like that. They're serious about it, but it's just weird, right? It's just weird to me. So, anyways, back to our fellowship. Zanhavi walks over. She's holding the reins from her horse. And she kind of eyes everybody over, right? Taking in the conversation that's being had, especially this last interaction. And I think it is. I think it's an interaction with Farron. This riddling back and forth, trying to ascertain who we are, what we're after. And then she says, Heleth is a ranger like we are. She is from the south. She doesn't travel north much. And Thunderbolt is her horse. We found her horse not a day ago, but no sign of Heleth. Where did you last see her?
It would have been near the last bridge where we parted ways.
And then, you know, her face kind of gets somber, and she says, yeah, that's days ago. Do you know what business brought her this far?
I'm kind of like, I imagine, like,
I'm not looking at your
looking
face.
like looking at Daphne. Well, Daphne's gonna trust her. I'm looking at Nindor. like, I mean, well, no, if she's a ranger, even though these are men, they seem trustworthy. So, yeah, I'd probably say that, you know, Heleth was on the hunt. She was tracking this bad man. I forget his name, Grolic or something.
Yeah, Gorlink.
Grolink. She thought he had an outpost out here somewhere.
She takes that in. I don't know of Gorlink. I know the Troll Shawls pretty well. If there's an outpost, it's hidden pretty good then. The trail from Thunderbolt leads north, but it goes too far beyond where we usually travel. So we're headed back to our camp to talk about what we'll do next. Well, she's a ranger. She doesn't operate with us. She doesn't live with us here in the Troll Shawls. And if she's further north, the Coldfells, I don't know that we'll go that far.
I thought you were Rangers of the North.
We are, but there's politics. Okay.
Farron's very much like, okay, whatever. I guess I don't care about human politics.
I do, though. So I'll jump in and
Yes.
be like, what kind of politics?
it's not up to me to just go north looking for her. Again, I didn't know she was this far north. She hadn't checked in with us. I don't know what she's doing. This Gorlank, if he's out here, I didn't know that either. So I need to talk with my people to figure out what we'll do next.
Well, there is one way you could find all the answers to your questions, and that would be helping us find Helith, and then you can ask her directly.
I know she went north. That's where the trail goes, and I know that's out of where that's out of my authority. I've gone as far north as I can without further permission.
So whose authority would that be under?
Our chief, and that's who we're going to go see.
Can we meet your chief with you?
I'm going to say yes, because we had a good council. For you folks at home that are groaning, well, this is our game, so I'm going to say yes. Yeah, she says yes. You can travel with us.
Can we have like a little fellowship talk?
A sidebar.
A little fellowship sidebar.
Farron pulling us to the side. Stop making plans.
So I think yes. I think she and the other rider join up with the other 4 riders that are ahead. Presumably, she's going to let them know you guys are probably traveling with them further west. But let's do this sidebar.
Mostly the only thing I want to bring up is if we're trying to reconnect with Helith, do we want the delay of going the other direction with these rangers?
Well, don't you think it's important that we have permission?
She said she needs permission.
We do not need their permission.
But it
This
might
is
be
a
good.
human thing.
Well, I'm a human.
You're not a ranger.
Do you need that chief's permission, Daphne?
Well, no, I just think it might be, polite. I wouldn't want him to be angry with me.
Who could ever be angry with you, Daphne?
That's a good point.
Would there be like I don't know if you would want to force like a lore roll or just if it would be kind of somewhat common knowledge. Like, I'm just curious what, like, I guess politics, like, as far as like the elves and the Dunedain, like, what's the relationship there? Like, should we kind of be walking on eggshells and try to appease this chief, or can we just be like, yo, Círdan sent us, we do what we want?
Yeah, so no lore roll needed there. I wasn't sure where we were going because some of this will spill into a lore roll. So as players and fans of Lord of the Rings, the Dunedain have a kind of a sanctuary out here in the Trollshaws, and it is further west, and that's where these folks are from, right? But you don't need their permission. You don't have to be on eggshells, right? They have an agenda that they're trying to stay true to. And what Zanhavi wants to make sure is that she's not putting that agenda at risk or is in conflict. That's why she can't go north without permission. And it's possible that the chief's like, no, that's in conflict with what we're doing here, right? And we're not going to do that, right? I don't want to leave her out there all alone, but we can't. This thing we're doing is more important. So, and that's where she's got to go back to. That's the politics. But it's got nothing to. So I think they're on neutral